brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to be working with our 2004 Ford F-150. We're going to show you how to remove and replace the front CV axle. We're doing this on the driver's side, but this part and information is going to be the same on the passenger side. If you like this video, please click subscribe. We have a ton more information on this truck as well as many other makes and models. And if you need this part for your vehicle, you can follow the link down in the description over to 1AAuto.com. Here are the items you'll need for this repair. Using a pair of pliers, wiggle the cap out of the center of the hub and remove this 13mm nut at the end of the axle. Break the lug nuts loose with a 19mm socket and a breaker bar. You only want to crack them loose about one turn. We're going to do this on a lift to make it easier to show you, but this job can be done at home on a jack and jack stands. Once we've loosened the wheel and the axle nut, we'll raise and support our vehicle. Finish removing the lug nuts and remove the wheel and tire from the truck. We'll remove these 6 12-point 12mm bolts with a 12-point socket and ratchet so we can disconnect the axle flange from the differential. You'll need a friend to get inside the vehicle and hold the brakes as you break the bolts loose. We'll rotate it and remove each one as they get on and off the brakes. We've soaked all of our hardware in penetrating oil before starting here because these flanges tend to get pretty rusty. This is not somewhere you want to break off a bolt. Have your assistant release the brake pedal. Rotate the axle around 180 degrees and have them re-engage the pedal so we can finish removing our hardware. Using a 30mm socket, remove this nut at the bottom strut bolt. You may have to support the bolt side with a 27mm wrench. Remove the nut and bolt. So we've cut the wheel all the way to the left to allow more room. Now we can pry out from under our strut. Pull it out to the side and easily remove our axle from the truck. This will take a little bit of work. You're going to have to move it a little, fight it. You may need a pry bar or a hammer to work it out. Sometimes they do just come out easily. Here we have our old CV axle that we removed from our truck and our new part from 1AAuto.com. As you can see, these parts are nearly identical. We have the same shaft at the end, same threads, comes with the new nut. We have the teeth to lock into our hub. Same 6-bolt flange at the far end. Now the shafts are a little bit shorter in the center, but the overall length of the axle is the same, and that's what matters here. These boots just come out a little bit farther. These ones here are all torn up and broken. You can see the end cap blew out and let the grease and bearings out of the other end of our CV axle during removal. CV axles are prone to clicking when taking sharp turns. Most noticeable when the vehicle is in four-wheel drive, but even when this is turning with the hub and you get it to a steep angle, when you turn the car, it will make a clicking sound. So if your CV axle is blown out, making noise, or has snapped and failed completely, preventing your vehicle from going into four-wheel drive and moving around underneath the truck and potentially damaging some other components, this new part from 1AAuto is going to go in direct fit, just like your original equipment, and fix you up right. Reinstall the CV axle. Being careful not to dislocate either of the joints or tear the boot. Put the strut back into place. To reinstall the bottom strut bolt, we're actually just a little bit out of line here. So we're going to take a pry bar, put it through this notch in the bottom of the control arm, and push up just a little so our bolt slides in easily. We'll straighten out our wheel, spin the nut back on by hand, finish tightening it down with a 30mm socket and ratchet and a 27mm wrench to hold the bolt on the other side. Line up the flange at the rear of the CV axle. Reinstall your 12.12mm bolts. Get these in as far as you can by hand, and then you'll need your assistant again to work the brakes while you tighten them down with a socket and ratchet. Reinstall the wheel and tire. And start your 6 lug nuts by hand. Reinstall that 13mm nut onto our axle as far as we can, and then put our vehicle back on the ground. Tighten down the axle nut with a 13mm socket and ratchet. Reinstall the dust cap over the axle nut and tap it back into place. You can use a rubber mallet or a piece of wood on a hammer. I'm just using the end of the ratchet here because it's handy. Torque the lug nuts to 150 foot-pounds. It's very important when torquing 6 lug wheels. The cross pattern is different from your standard 5 lug wheel. You want to make little triangles. So we'll skip 1 lug and tighten the first 3, and then we'll go across, skip 1, skip 1 again. So we'll be tightening the wheels in 2 small triangles.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope this video helped you out. Next time you need parts for your car, please visit oneauto.com. Also check out our other helpful how-to as well as diagnosis videos.